Salem FFA members here for FFA Day on KSMO Media. I have a senior, a junior, and two ninth graders with me today, and two of them have been on the air before in previous years, and two of them are rookies. And they're kind of anxious about what's going to go on, but it'll all work out, guys. Nobody has fainted yet doing this today. Everybody's survived. In fact, over the years, everybody's survived doing this. So with that said, first thing I want you to do is just introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about yourself. You're in school. Tell who your parents are. It'll be a good thing. And we're going to start with the young ladies since they're veterans of doing this and work our way around to these two young men. So.
I'm Aiden Brooks. I am a junior at Salem High School. I have been in FFA for the past 3 years.
All right, very good.
My name's Faith Pace, and I'm the chapter historian, and I'm a senior this year. I've been in FFA for 4 years, and my parents are Eric and Carrie Pace.
There you go. A little bit about Faith. Go ahead, Casey.
My name's Casey Chapman. I'm a freshman at Salem High School. This is my first year in FFA, and my parents are Bob and Kelly Chapman.
All right, well done. Briar?
My name is Briar Bobbitt. This is my first year in FFA for Salem High School. My parents are Joni and Wes Bobbitt.
All right. See, these guys all know who their parents are. They've given all those details. They know what year in school. So they're pretty intelligent, and they're going to do a fine job. I'm going to start out with the question of why did you enroll in ag education and become part of the FFA? What was the reasons behind you enrolling in ag education? Whoever wants to start, there's no certain order. We can start on one side and go to the other side if you want to. And I've tell about every group, sometimes the easiest to do is be first. That way it doesn't sound like you're repeating what other folks have said. But with that comment, just tell our listeners about, and our viewers, yes, we got viewers this year, why you decided to enroll in ag education. Go ahead, Aiden.
Well, at the beginning of, it was my 8th grade year, my dad was talking to me about FFA and all the fun he had in it. And he was like, I think it'd be a really good class for you to enroll in. And I had a good time, and it's a great experience, great friends, and all things like that.
Dad, parental influence, you bet. Okay.
I joined because obviously we get out of school all the time, and I just thought it would be a fun class to take.
And you don't have to make up any of the work you miss while you're out, right?
Yeah.
We're both being very facetious because that's not the case. They do have to make up every bit of that work, and if they don't, guess what? They get to lose that privilege of getting to go on some future events. So, all right, Casey?
I decided to take this class because all my family had been in FFA, and they'd always talked about how fun it was and how they got out to go do stuff.
So somebody else likes to get out and go do stuff. That's fine. That's a good reason because it does, and we're serious when we say it really doesn't make life easier because then you still have to do the work to get to do that away from school event and then make up that school work you've missed. All right, we're over to Briar.
I did FFA originally I had a cousin do it, and he said that it was a lot of fun. And, I've always wanted to do stuff outside, and so I just figured it'd be a good class for me to take in high school.
Okay. That's as good a reason as any. All right. Let's think about FFA activities we've been involved in, and obviously these two young ladies have had a lot more opportunity to be involved in a lot of FFA activities than our two young men in this group. But to all of you, what's been your favorite FFA activity? Doesn't matter who starts again.
My favorite activity has been both Beef Days and Food for America that we've done this past week, because I just like to get to talk to the kids about why you should join FFA and tell them how their food is grown and where it comes from, and it's always fun to listen to their comments about it.
Okay, good reasons, and not really an activity that's been cited as a favorite for the same reasons that you just mentioned, Faith. Very good. Aiden?
The leadership conferences in Mountain Grove have kind of always been my favorite. We didn't really get to go to one my sophomore year,
Right.
but we went to one last year, and it was a lot of fun. Because like we see all the other chapters, and you get to learn about their experiences, and we get to do fun activities and all sorts of things like that.
All right, very good. All right, boys, so far in ag, and FFA, what's been your favorite activity?
My favorite activity's been the Willow Springs cattle working competition.
Yeah?
And
Why?
I like working cattle,
Yeah.
and we took second place.
I was going to say you didn't do very well in it, but you gave it away. I was going to be facetious because I know you did quite well in it. Pretty close to getting first. Probably
Yeah.
if it hadn't been a hometown team that beat you, I think you'd have won.
Yeah.
This microphone did that last group, so stay up there. All right. Good job, Casey. Briar, what about you?
It'd probably have to be Word Act. I think it's been one of the only activities I've been to.
Okay.
So, had a lot of fun though.
Absolutely. Word Act is always a high point of the FFA year. And these folks just really gave you a variety of, I don't think anybody had the same favorite activity among this group of 4 students. So that starts to let our viewers and listeners have a general idea about the fact there is a lot of variety of what we do in ag education and FFA. Are there other activities that you would just like to make sure that our public is aware that the FFA chapter carries on? No, that's not the extent of activities because the Salem FFA chapter carries out anywhere from 75 to 100 activities a year, so there's got to be a couple more. But if nothing else comes to mind, that's fine. I know sometimes, and that's my fault, sometimes we can't think of things when we're under a little bit of pressure. Anything? Nope. Okay. Mr. P, we'll think. If you think of something, though, no problem in going back to a previous question and answering it. I'm going to take us to a different area, though, and I'm going to ask you, what have you found to be the most challenging, the most difficult part of ag education and FFA? What presented you the greatest challenge? What did you find the most difficult to do? Anybody? Somebody? Surely, okay, this is the best group we've had all day because everything has been easy for them. Nothing's been difficult. Now they're grinning at me. And obviously, for our radio listeners, they're smiling at me because they know I'm being very facetious right now. Aiden's got an answer.
Freshman year, whenever we were learning the creed, I can't remember things that well, so it was difficult.
It's a test. I can identify with that myself. You bet. The FFA creed. Anything else that you found difficult?
I found difficult, like, just getting myself out there and taking on leadership roles, like, within the chapter.
Yeah, and Faith, forgive me, I'm not saying this to embarrass you, but Faith is not a out front, be the front person of a group. She kind of is, and groupie is not the right word either. She's a great, fantastic follower, but to get out there in front is just, that's not you, is it?
No.
Oh. But you're more so have more of a tendency to do that now than you did as a freshman. I know in seeing her involved in other things in the community that she's developed. She probably will never get completely over that. I know I have shortcomings in my own personality that I've never completely got over, but we learn to work around them and still be successful. All right, guys, what about our first year students? What have you found to be most difficult?
It probably had to be saying the creed. That was pretty difficult. Memorize it and learn it.
Yep, you'd agree with Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Casey?
Mine would have been saying the creed.
Okay, we're all in agreement on that. Now, none of this group listed record books as the most difficult, but Casey and Breyer really have just gotten started with their records books, so they haven't got the point like our two upperclassmen of the other aspect of record keeping. It's not the record keeping itself that's difficulty, it's what? Making ourselves do it, right? Especially doing it in a timely manner, not waiting till the day before they're due to do them. Oh, now you don't have to admit you've done that a few times, waited till the day before. We all do, but it's record keeping something that we've got to develop some skills in that, lots of skills in it, because it's going to be with you throughout life. Okay, I've already dealt with that. That difficulty part. All right, we'll turn our attention to the contest teams. That was a term when years ago we just called them contest teams. Now we've got those fancier terms, but they still mean the same. Career development events, CDEs, and LDEs, leadership development events. And we'll start with the two veteran young ladies first. What career development events, LDEs, have you been involved in during your years in FFA?
I have been involved in dairy cattle my freshman year, and then my sophomore year I also did dairy cattle just a little bit before COVID hit, and then last year I did a little bit of dairy foods, and this year I'm on the floriculture team.
Yeah, a variety of things, obviously, that are contest team areas that Faith's done.
At the beginning of my freshman year, I started dairy, and then we didn't get to finish that, and then I haven't been able to be a part of the rest of them.
Okay. Now, we're at that spring contest season now. In fact, about somewhere around 15 FFA members are gone today to take part in a competition. I don't remember where they said they were going. I've been trying to remember that all day. But anyway, so there's competitions going on already now. Have you all selected some teams that you're going to be involved in this year? What are we talking about for this year? Breyer's shaking his head no. He's not planning to do any. What about the rest of us? Casey, you doing any contest team this year?
Yes, dairy cattle judging.
Dairy cattle judging. Okay.
This year I'm going to be on the floriculture team and maybe TSA and the dairy cattle team.
Okay.
I still haven't decided yet.
Okay. TSA, you mentioned that, and we've not mentioned that all day. Can you expound on that just a little bit? What's going on with? Okay, that's all right. Don't be embarrassed about it. We're going to help you here. If my memory serves me right, that stands for Technical Skills Assessment. And there is a state requirement that every student in a career education, which would include ag, family and consumer sciences, I think even building trades is involved in that. No, there's another one, maybe business. They have to take some type of test that assesses the technical skills they have developed. Now, we're fortunate in ag that a number of our different career development events will meet that requirement. And they don't have to get A's in it. They don't have to get 100% in it. I think 70% or passing grade is 60%, 65%. I've forgotten a little bit about that, along with a lot of other things I've forgotten. But anyway, that's the technical skills assessment, the TSAs that Faith was referring to. And thank you for mentioning it, though, because we hadn't had the opportunity yet today. Nobody brought that up. So this gives us an opportunity to make sure our listeners know about another aspect of what students in ag education and FFA are required to do. We've not touched on your supervised agricultural experience yet, so let's tell our listeners and viewers about what you have for your, or did we? Okay. Well, I had to second guess myself, and when you've done this already, this is the 6th time today, I sound like I'm repeating myself to this group, and when maybe I'm not, and then I have to worry about whether I leave something out that I shouldn't have left out. tell our listeners and viewers about what you're doing for your supervised agriculture experience. I'm going to ask the boys to go first this time, so it doesn't matter which one of you. What's your SAE?
I ain't quite decided. I don't know really what it's going to be about.
Okay.
Mine will be showing a steer at the expo and raising cattle.
Right. All right.
My SAE is poultry and egg production, and I also work part-time at Country Mart.
Mine's kind of all over the place. Like, I work part-time at Domino's, and then sometimes I help raise cattle, and then sometimes I help raise chicken, so it just kind of depends.
A variety of different SAE enterprises. And the thing about it is kind of like agriculture. We're in an area where very few people are just strictly one type of agricultural enterprise. Most folks got some cattle, maybe a few hogs, maybe some chickens. So it's the variety of agriculture, and that's what is reflected in the answers that these young people have shared with you folks, is the fact that they're involved in a different number of areas. Well, that brings us a point, and a good point, to take a little break. We'll be back in about a minute and a half or so.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers, your collection of hand-carved duck decoys. Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Ask Inman Insurance in Rolla and Salem if auto owners make sense for you.
Relationships. It's not just being on a first-name basis. It's a partnership built on trust. This is Scott Ball, president of the Bank of Salem. Since 1883, the Bank of Salem has been serving our local community with a kind of personal service and professionalism that builds relationships. We've earned the trust of our customers with over a century of strength and stability, never once changing our name or compromising customer service. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Salem. Visit our website, the Bank of Salem, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Cameron Irway in Salem today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
See what I. All right, we are back. Ready to tell you more about ag education and FFA from the viewpoint of these 4 young people sitting here with me. We're ready to talk about, actually I'm going to skip ahead and then come back to what I just told you I'd do first. We'll talk about your future plans in a moment, but I want you to deal with what have you felt have been benefits that you have gained by being in ag education and FFA. What positive benefits have you gained? How has FFA and ag education helped you? That's what I'm asking. All right. Go with the senior.
It's helped me because, like I said, I didn't really put myself out there, and now I am an officer this year, and I was last year also. So I really feel like I've done a lot of more leadership than I really would have at all if I had not taken ag at all.
Okay.
I'm kind of the same way. I feel like I've put myself more out there. I'm not afraid to like talk in front of like a lot of people. Because I used to be like really shy and didn't want to talk to anybody, but now I'm kind of like, I don't care what I say anymore.
A little more confident. Going to some of those favorite activities, like you mentioned, the Mountain Grove Leadership Conferences, kind of helped expand that confidence and helped you. Gentlemen, what about you guys? Has there been any benefits you've realized from being in ag education FFA? Ways you've improved or
Give me life skills, I guess, you know.
start to develop more life skills than what you had to this point? Okay. Casey, you think of anything? He's a mulling over. I can tell. He's very thoughtful here. Hey, if you think something later, we'll throw it in then. Let's talk about your future plans. What's down the road for you, particularly for the two ninth graders here, and even some for Aiden in terms of ag and FFA? Let's talk first about what goals, have you set goals for yourself in ag and FFA yet before you graduate, or what's ahead of the rest of us? What do we want to accomplish? Think of anything that you've set a goal to do in ag and FFA? All right, we're not thinking of anything. Faith, can you help them out with any?
One of my goals that I wanted to do before I graduated was to get my state FFA degree, which I am getting. So
That's right, coming up in April. Faith, and I believe, is there 4 other FFA members?
Kennedy, Sierra, and Riley.
Yeah, 5 total. 5 FFA degrees for the Salem FFA for this year at the State FFA Convention. Okay. Aiden, some goals or that you've got?
Well, I've already kind of achieved some of the goals I've had set for myself. Like, I wanted to take wood shop, which I'm doing right now. And like I said, going to like different conferences and stuff, like the leadership conference. And I helped at Beef Days my freshman year. And I want to do that again. And then
What about after high school? Now, I know, boys, you're a long ways off from after high school, right? But Faith will tell you, if I give her a chance, that she can't believe that 4 years ago she was sitting here as a freshman doing this same program. We were just on the radio. We weren't on the internet then when we were doing it. But the time is just, it's gone so fast. Have you got goals yet for yourself? Anything you can think of? What do you plan to do after high school? Don't know yet. Got to figure it out. Well, Casey, your sister, was sitting here telling me earlier today that she'd always had this one certain goal, and I think just within maybe the last half of this year, she's really settled in on, really, thanks to involvement in ag and FFA, particularly with Beef Days and Food for America and activities with younger kids, have settled on the fact that elementary education looks like the field that she really wants to be in. So your experiences in ag will help you make some decisions about what you want to do with your future, if you'll give it an opportunity to. You've got to get out there and get involved and be involved in things. Some areas that maybe seem very difficult to you, just like Faith has referred to, that she really didn't like being out in front of a group and having to get heavily involved and work towards being a leader. But she's had to do that, and she's done it, and she can now see the benefits and some of the value that's returning to her. Well, the other thing I will ask you, and I'm going to start with these 2 ninth graders now, because even though they have only had these few months in ag education FFA, you're closest to the group that I want you to think about, and that is 7th and 8th graders. I'm sure you have some acquaintances in the 7th and 8th grade levels of schooling. What would you tell them about ag education and FFA?
It's really not all the hard work I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, it's a bunch of stuff. You got to do this, got to do that, and it's really not what I thought it was going to be. But it's a lot better than what I thought. So
not as much hard work, but
Yeah.
more things that you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. And I'm not trying to twist your words if that's not what you meant, but that's what it sounded to me like that you wanting to communicate. Casey, what would you tell them?
It could kind of act as a break between all your hard classes, and I would take it.
You got lots of core classes. This will give you an opportunity to kind of shift away from the pressure of those. Still not easy, as Breyer said. Lots of work to do, but at least it's maybe a more enjoyable work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting some. Now, folks on the internet, obviously, they see those heads shaking up and down, but for listeners on the radio, yeah, there was agreement among basically all 4 of these that, yeah, it's work, lots of work, hard work, but it's work that we enjoy, and that makes a world of difference. Girls, what else? I mean, you're a ways away from those folks, but you come in contact with maybe some younger high school students that didn't take ag. What would you communicate to them?
I would say, like you were saying, it's a break that we enjoy. So there's a variety of different classes that we can take to expand our interests and even just continue working at the interests we have, like in wood shop. Like, yes, we're building things, but I actually enjoy doing what I am in there. So.
Anything to add, Aiden?
I would say that you learn very valuable life lessons in there. Ag is a great place to learn all of those things.
And get in, give it a try. Somebody last hour said, take a year of it and try it. You might like it. If you don't, hey, it's just a year of one elective. It's not a waste. You'll gain something from it, guaranteed. Well, if there's anything anybody would like to add, we're not out of time, but I'm about out of questions for this group. Anything you'd like to add? No, I don't see anybody really saying, yeah, I would like to say this. So, well, I appreciate the four of you taking the time out of your regular class schedule to be over here. I know, boys, you got surprised about being sent over here by Ms. Johnson, just volunteered you all like that. But again, you'll look back on this and being not as bad as you thought it was going to be. Something will help you with some of those communication skills, and next year you'll be ready to come back again. Like I said, we're coming out of this one just a little bit early, but I know we've got some things back there on the control board that we can do, so I'm going to send you back to Stan. I think he's back on the board. If he's, yes, he is. I see the high sign from him. So, folks, we want to thank our listeners tuning in for this particular group. I thank Aiden and Faith and Casey and Briar for taking the time to be on air with us. And we also want to thank our many, many sponsors of FFA Day on KSMO Media.
Duncan Family Chiropractic provides chiropractic care to everyone from newborn to elderly. Dr. Duncan treats wellness, sports injuries, chronic ear infections, pregnancy, and more. Ask Dr. Duncan about your full line of supplements, including Juice Plus and standard process supplements, as well as pain relief, BioFreeze products.
If you have the audacity to believe a financial advisor should talk with you, not at you.
If you believe access to your financial advisor should be a right, not a privilege.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Call Joe Brand in Salem at 729-3831.
I am a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm here to talk about life, your dreams, your work, your family, and how you can protect it all with a company that will talk to you with the honesty of a farmer and take care of you with the integrity of a neighbor. I'll make sure no detail is left uncovered so your family can breathe easy. Because just like you, I chose to build a life in Missouri too. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm from Missouri for life.